On the world news tonight from Babagbagidi Imo Television, first the headlines. Subsidy removal. Tinubu finally approves new wage award to civil servants. How Nigeria's head of civil service extorted 23 million naira from 92 applicants vying for post of permanent secretaries. Nigeria would never get rich from producing oil. Lamido Senusi. Poor leaders may cause third world war. Afe Babalola warns. Praising the congestion, federal government to pay 500 million naira fine for 4,000 inmates release. And on sports, Italian pundit Valda Di Maggio claims Liverpool have agreed personal terms with Osimhen. I am Morire Ribila Lawa, the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the sum of 35,000 naira as wage award to all federal civil servants. The new pay will be effective from September 1st, 2023, as contained in the memo from the presidency and signed by the chairman, chief executive officer of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, EPO, UO Inter. The circular was addressed to the chief of staff to the president, deputy chief of staff to the president, ministers and ministers of state, secretary to the government of the federation, head of civil service of the federation, chairman, federal commissions, federal permanent secretaries, clerk of the National Assembly, secretary, National Judicial Council, secretary, Federal Judicial Service Commission, directors general and chief executive of parastatals, agencies and government-owned companies, auditor general for the federation, accountant general of the federation, director general budget office of federation, and dated 19th October 2023. Accordingly, the implementation of the 35,000 naira per month wage award for all federal government ministries, departments and agencies that are treasury funded will be funded from this treasury. Non-treasury funded federal government agencies are to implement the same from their internally generated, it said. Information gathered that all the applicants were compelled to pay 250,000 naira per head for a one-week training program from 23rd to 28th October 2023. How Nigeria's head of civil service extorted 23 million naira from applicants. Facts have emerged on how the head of civil service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, through the Public Service Institute of Nigeria, extorted about 23 million naira from 92 applicants vying for the post of permanent secretaries of various ministries in Nigeria. Information also gathered that all the applicants were compelled to pay 250,000 naira for a one-week training program. Sources privy to the situation revealed that the money estimated to 223 million naira was not remitted to the Treasury's single account, amid plans to also manipulate the posting of the permanent secretaries and give GC ministries to the HOCSFs in Asako. One of the top sources said on the corrupt practices leading to the selection of permanent secretaries, there is no justification for the head of service through the Public Service Institute of Nigeria to compel the 92 director candidate whose salary is merely 500,000 naira per month to pay half of their salary for a one-week training program from 23rd to 28th October 2023. This training could have been organized for successful candidates upon their becoming permanent secretaries and at government expense. Alas, the PSRN will be expected to generate 23 million naira income by extorting money from the 92 candidates, notwithstanding that the institute is funded from taxpayers' money 100%. Meanwhile, the institute does not even remit a kobo to TSA from this kind of corruptly generated money. Sanusi Lamido Senusi, the 14th Emir of Kano and former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, has asserted that Nigeria would never get rich from producing oil. Senusi spoke at the distinguished lecture series of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Lagos, with a team resetting the Nigerian economy for a better future on Thursday. The lecture series seeks to diagnose issues surrounding Nigeria's economic predicament and propose practical steps to address the situation. While delivering the lecture, Senusi noted that Nigeria's oil production compared to the population of the country is not enough to make the country rich. Oil is not enough to make us rich, but enough to put us in trouble At best, it represents working capital that can be enabled to launch other industries. Nigeria produces just 2.3 barrels per person per year compared to Saudi Arabia's 94.1, Kuwait's 221.6, and Gabon's 31.7, he said. He advocated that reduced dependence on petrol will be the long-term solution to the subsidy removal crisis currently being faced by people in the country. In the short term, the most effective measure to offset the removal of fuel subsidies is cash transfers. The design of individual cash transfer programs varies considerably in recharge and coverage. The long-term solution is to reduce dependence on PMS. Sanusi, a former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, added that Nigerians would need to appreciate across board the economy's importance. He added that in resetting Nigeria's economy, it would be important to bring economics into public discourse. Moving on to the next story. Legal luminary Are Baba, I beg your pardon, luminary Are Afe Babalola San has said bad leadership in different parts of the globe may soon lead to a third world war if the narrative do not change. Babalola, who is the founder of Afe Babalola University at Ekiti, Abuad, spoke at the university yesterday during an international conference on leadership and governance for sustainable change and wealth, jointly organized by Abuad and Trinity Western University, Canada. He said the world has witnessed two world wars between 1914 and 1918 and 1939 and 1945 because of bad leadership. At the event, being part of the activities lined up for the 11th convocation of Abuad, a memorandum of understanding MOU was signed between the two world-class universities. He said the title of the conference, as mentioned above, is very apt, having regard to the situation in Africa and the world in general today. These avoidable world wars led to the loss of millions of people, all of which could be traced to bad leadership. Adolf Hitler, the derisively called the bad guy of history, was a tragic example of bad leadership. He had the negative accolade of having created gas chambers where millions of Israelis were killed. What a leader indeed. Minister of Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo has hinted of plans by the ministry to clear the over 500 million naira fines for about 4,000 inmates over their inability to pay fines slammed on them by judges and magistrates in the various custodial centers nationwide. The minister will say the move is to ensure their release is geared towards the congested correctional facilities in the various custodial centers nationwide. The minister will say the move is to ensure their release is geared towards the congested correctional center. He lamented that over 70% of the total population in the nation's custodial centers are awaiting trials. Tunji Ojo made the revelation while ruling out the challenges associated with congestion and other critical issues bordering on the correctional mandate of his ministry during an exclusive interview. While expressing optimism that the number of inmates in facilities would reduce drastically to about 40% if non-custodial alternative as provided for any correctional service act as adopted. The minister lamented that over 70% of the 79,000 inmates were awaiting trials. Nigeria's secret police are retrieved over 580 million naira from the former chairman of the anti-corruption body, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawa, sources have told. Information also said from the Department of State Services, DSS, which has detained Bawa since June, said on Friday that the former anti-corruption chief has coughed up over 580 million naira illegally acquired during his time as the head of the agency. This comes amid pressure on the DSS to either release Bawa or charge him with offenses the secret police or investigation has found that Bawa committed. President Bola Tinubu suspended Bawa indefinitely as chairman of the commission to allow for proper investigation into his conduct while in office, following weighty allegation of abuse of office leveled against him. Bawa was taken into custody by the DSS on June 14th, hours after his suspension by the president, and has since remained there. In August, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP threatened to sue President Tinubu's administration over the continued detention of Bawa by the DSS without arraignment for proper charges. Also on Wednesday, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, knocked President Tinubu's administration over the continued detention of Bawa and the former Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, without trial. The federal government has said the ongoing outbreak of diphtheria has affected 9,478 children across the 20 affected states, with over 4 million children vaccinated against in the recognized risk. The executive director of the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Chouaib, disclosed this yesterday at a press briefing by the National Diphtheria Emergency Task Team in Abuja. He said the phase 2 round 1 of the outbreak response diphtheria vaccines commenced on the 23rd of September 2023 and has unfolded in 7 states, encompassing 56 local government areas that are profoundly impacted by the ongoing diphtheria outbreak. As we stand today, this ongoing vaccination phase has made a tangible difference in protecting the lives of over 4 million children across these affected states. The leader of INIR, Evangelical Spiritual Church Primate Elijah Ayodele, has described the controversial Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmed Gumi as a Taliban in Nigeria. Ayodele said Gumi wants to use the issue with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, to cause a religious crisis in Nigeria. In a statement by his media aide, Oluwatosin Osho, Ayodele said the Islamic scholar needs to undergo medical checks because, with his unguarded statement, it's obvious all is not well with him. According to Ayodele, people like Gumi are evil forces that can destabilize Nigeria. The man is up to something. President Tinubu must do everything necessary to stop this menace from ruining the country. Gumi had called for Wike's removal as FCT minister after the former governor received an Israeli envoy in Abuja and discussed plans to collaborate with Israel in the area of security. The Islamic scholar has described Wike as a satanic person, adding that Christians should not be trusted with the security of the country. Moving on to the next story. A woman is said to have fatally shot her longtime friend after they got into an argument during a baby shower on October 15. The fatal incident occurred at her home in Edmond Street. Family members of the victim, Fair Williams, told the news outlet that the deceased 53-year-old woman's longtime friend attended the baby shower despite not being invited. She's a friend of the family. They had been friends since they were kids. Williams' niece, Siobhan Carter, said. A relative also said the argument between Williams and her longtime friend stemmed from the shooter accusing the deceased woman's son of committing a crime. Williams' son was also at the event, and the shooter is said to have reported the case to Detroit police on October 13. Williams is said to have hit her longtime friend when they were arguing. It was also reported that someone probably spat on her. The woman then took out a gun and fatally shot Williams. In the wake of the incident, the unidentified woman left the residence and contacted Detroit police to report the shooting. She also made her way to DPD's 9th precinct on Detroit Avenue, but when she got to the police station, it appeared woman's son had followed her. The deceased woman's son is said to have plugged his vehicle into her after she came out of her car. Both Williams' sons and the shooter were arrested, and the woman was also taken to the hospital to receive medical care for her injuries. But relatives of the shooter claimed she acted in self-defense. And to the foreign story. The European Union and Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, yesterday signed 7 agreements worth €212.4 million on promotion of trade and regional integration, energy interconnectivity, and renewable energy. The agreement also covered affordable and clean energy, sustainable food system, food security, as well as mitigation. I beg your pardon, migration. Leader of the EU team and European Commission for International Partnerships, Jutta Opeleni, who met with President ECOWAS Commission Omar Aliou Touré in Abuja for the signing of the agreement, was accompanied by European Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson. Opeleni said EU was a long-term supporter of regional integration that produces prosperity through added value, nothing that ECOWAS currently operates in a politically challenging context. Opeleni stated that the agreement have a central role of stabilizing the region through promotion of democracy, rule of law, and economic cooperation. ECOWAS President Touré, in his response, appreciated the AU for continued strategic partnership with ECOWAS, which has always provided support towards addressing regional challenges. Finally, on sports. According to a release, Victor Osimhen has reportedly reached an agreement to join 19-time English champions Liverpool. In a report by Sport Witness and Italian journalist Walter Di Maggio, the Napoli forward has agreed personal terms with the English Giants. This follows an earlier report this week that Liverpool sent scouts to watch Osimhen play for the Super Eagles during the just concluded international break. Dutton clubsmen could lose star forward Mohamed Salah next summer and might be planning for the future without the Egyptian star, with this latest report. With Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota and Cody Gakpo still available to play with the central forward position, it remains to be seen how Osimhen would fit into Liverpool if the deal were to happen. The former Serie A best young player could end his stay in Naples next summer, as he is yet to agree on a new deal. Two-time European champions Chelsea are also said to be monitoring the situation of the Super Eagles striker forward, as they intend to bolster the attack with his signature. One thing is certain, we are yet to see the end of this speculation regarding the future of Victor Osimhen. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news from Baba Gbagede Imo Television. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu finally approves new wage award to civil servants. Our Nigeria's head of civil service extorted 23 million naira from 92 applicants. Nigeria will never get rich from producing oil, Lamido Senusi. Poor leaders may cause Third World War, Afe Babalola warns leaders. President Congestion, federal government to pay 500 million naira fine for 4,000 inmates release. And on sport, Italian pundit Walter Di Maggio claims Liverpool have agreed personal terms with Osimhen. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Gbagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Gbagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram as well, you can usually use our handle for advertisement of goods and services, coverage of events and functions. Please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. It was a Jumat's day for Muslims, and we're still in the day. May Allah make it a very good one for us and not the last in our lifetime. I am Mauriri Rabina Lawal. Good evening.